Freaking season.
Okay, come join me at fellow streamers on YouTube. Good stuff.
All right, guys, I tell you what, I think we are going to go ahead and fade the Captain Jack normal music down. Welcome, everybody. We are here on the Sunday afternoon, and I am joined, as you can see on the screen, by our good friends Mello, CST Gaming. OwlZzFS is here. And Lotto has jumped in. Noah had to jump out at the last moment, not going to be here. And you can see MickityyyMike's chair. It will soon be filled. He's got a couple of things going on there in his house there. Captain Jack, live and direct here in Colorado. And we're here on another we'll call it a YouTube podcast, and I'm hoping to record these things and actually get them out in the real world podcast stuff for Flight Simulator and everything like that. So once again, we want to welcome you in here on a Sunday afternoon, the second in a series of podcasts that we've been doing, and looking forward to seeing what else we come up with as time goes on. With us, my good friends CST Gaming. Mello is here. Lotto is here up there in, well, at least in the upper right-hand corners, I'm seeing it. And, of course, the always incredible and nearly famous Owls is here, and he's going to be getting ready to do a flight a little bit later this afternoon. We'll talk about that. We're waiting for Andrew from VATSIM to join in with us. Looks like Mike's going to make it here pretty quick. Mike, welcome. We're just getting started. Good timing.
All right.
Yeah, there you are. Can you hear me? Okay, good. Listen, for those who may be joining the podcast once again for the very first time, I'd like to go through and introduce everybody, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll go ahead and dive into some subjects. Of course, we've got the chat window open up and rocking and rolling, and if you've got some questions that you'd like to ask the panel here, and you can direct it to whichever one you want, go ahead and put that in the chat window, and we'll be monitoring that and bringing it up. So CST Gaming, welcome, sir. Tell us a little bit about what you're all about, why you stream, why you love Flight Sim, all that good stuff, my friend.
I mean, the streaming portion is more to get to know people and kind of reach out to the community type deal. I'm a kind of person that likes to give back as well, so I do a lot of different things. But that's how the streaming thing started, right? I just wanted to get to know people within the community. But I was streaming other stuff before Flight Sim. But I'm a retired vet, served in the Navy for 26 years.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah.
Thank you, guys. And got back into full-time streaming after that, honestly. Before that, I really never had the time. But so now I do stream 4 times a week, and I have a lot of fun with it.
And guys,
that's the only reason why I do it, just for the fun. I don't do it for any other reason.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I originally named my stream Flight Simming for Fun, and guys, you got to go to Carmelo's channel there and be sure and hit that thumbs up button and go ahead and subscribe to the channels if you haven't. That's always super important that we like to see you do. So be sure to check out CST Gaming there, and you just have some great stuff, man. I enjoyed your stream yesterday, and we're going to touch on that in just a little bit. You did something really fabulous yesterday, and really enjoyed that. Let's go to my buddy Owls. Owls, good afternoon. Tell us a little bit about you and why you like to flight sim and why you like to stream it. Go ahead, buddy.
Yo, well, my name is Owls. I'm 16. You guys know me either by Brendan or Owls. I like to stream. I like to stream just because it's kind of fun. You know, I get to share my passion before I actually get to do it in real world activities of flying and hopefully becoming a first officer for Delta. I'm okay. Uh, but yeah, I just like to live my dream through YouTube and share it with others, and it's nice to see that everybody else is enjoying it as well.
Yep. And as always, guys, I'm going to put these up here after we do our little introductions. Go to Al's channel there, OwlZzFS period. Make sure to put that period in there. Took me forever to find him because I didn't put the period in, and it kept coming up with all this Al stuff that, wasn't anything to do with what I was looking for. But, man, I tell you what, you and Mike, Al's, you guys got me through, and we'll go to Mike next. But you guys got me through my surgery recovery time. I'll tell you right now, when I had shoulder surgery and knee surgery done, I was watching you guys every time you had a stream on, and really super enjoyed it. Next, of course, is our good buddy MickityyyMike. Mike, welcome this afternoon. Same. Let me get you up there. Same thing as the other guys. Tell us about your passion for this stuff that we're doing.
Well, yes, sir. I mean, I started YouTube about September of last year. And, as of recent, I've had to take a little bit of a step back as some real world commitments have kept me away from the YouTube. But, I'm 27 years old. I currently work as a armed security officer for a local hotel and casino here in Las Vegas, Nevada. But I got my start in flight simming back early in FS 2004. And I've been simming ever since. So a better part of 14, 15 years, I've been flying flight simulators. And after I graduated high school, I actually became a student pilot over in Westchester County, Pennsylvania. I was studying to get my private, but unfortunately, due to some unforeseen circumstances and some personal commitments that I had to disenroll and move back to Las Vegas. But the love of aviation is just something that bit me at a very young age, and I love sharing that passion with those that have the same passion as me. And if I can give those that are younger, i.e. Owls, and some of those that are in the chat that are pursuing this as a goal of theirs to become a professional pilot down in their career line, if I can share my experiences and help them get to where they need to be, that's my goal. So just sharing the love of aviation and, flying everything metal and making holes in the clouds. I love doing that stuff. So that's what I'm here for.
Yep. Very good. Well, once again, my hat's off to you. You guys got me through my surgery recovery time. I mean, I watched you probably every day because I just found what you do extremely interesting and fascinating. And honestly, you're part of the reason that I started doing this. Let's go now over. Well, actually, before I go to you, Lotto, stand by just a minute. I want to thank everybody for getting into the chat. Let's see. We've got Talons Aviation. Welcome. Aurora Forza. Lightspeed is here. Yoham, regular. We sure appreciate you, man. Big Blue Chelmo is here. Visith Long. Is it or Lang? Shakovic. Visith? Okay.
Visith.
Okay, I'll remember Visa and go Visith. Okay, good deal. Shakovic, Big Blue. Let's see, who else is in here? All right, I think that's everybody at the moment. Lotto, welcome. First time for you to be in here. Tell us a little bit about yourself and, what you got going on in Flight Sim and everything else.
Thank you, Captain Jack. I appreciate you guys for having me. I mean, the same as you, right? These guys here that you're watching on this stream and on this podcast is who's helped me out so much this year. I mean, I've been simming for a long time as well, but not a lot of people know me. I do have a YouTube, but I'm not very active as I don't do live streams. I normally started focusing more on short content, and it's only because I have a full-time job, right? A family, and you want to make sure that, if you have 3 hours, 4 hours in the day to be able to do this. I don't right now, but personally, last year I lost my dad, and I started really focusing on something like, can I have something to kind of get my mind away? Of course, you've got your family to support you, but the biggest thing was, what can I do? And I started really focusing on all of the shorts and on Instagram, TikTok, mostly on Instagram. And now that's blown up. I think when you just show people your passion and you're doing it the right way, they're going to see that, man, this guy's legit. And thank God, the growth is there. A lot of people seem to love my stuff. And it's because I literally do it because I love to watch my own stuff. Like, I love that I can get on Instagram and watch my own things. with all the BS that we see in the world today, it's nice to kind of just get away and just have something beautiful. And this sim is kind of that escape for me. Yeah, I mean, I did fly on a real Cessna 172 when I was younger, around 18, 19 years old. I almost had a freak accident. And ever since then, I said, you know what, simming is probably the best for me. So I kind of stuck with that, you know what I'm saying? But Owls was one of the first I saw. And then, of course, you know, through his stream, got to meet Mike and now Mello as well. And I'm not gonna lie, these guys are amazing and some of the best when it comes to you know, live streaming and everything. So it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. Well, welcome. We're glad to have you in today as well. Once again, Noah couldn't be here, and we're looking forward to hearing from him. Maybe he might jump in. We're waiting for Andrew from VATSIM. So let me ask you this, guys. What made you decide well, actually, that's not what I wanted to say. What was your first? Let me ask you this first. What was your first flight simulator? The first flight simulator you ever did? I'll jump in and say the first one that I ever did was probably the 2.0 version, way back in the DOS days. You know, I'm 64, so I've had plenty of time to fool around with this stuff. And even before that, there was this green lined, you know, just shapes flight simulator. The runway was a long disappearing into the into the distance, perspective drawing kind of thing, and just green lines on a DOS based system. Mello, how about you? What was your first flight simulator that you ever fooled around with?
I think it was probably the same thing. I got introduced to flight simulator by my dad when I was a youngin. I must have been maybe 8-9 years old, and it was a Commodore 64 with a flexible floppy disk. You know, the black square floppy disks. You put them in, and you flip up the little retainer latch to keep the floppy disk in, and he loaded that thing, MS colon of whatever the hell it was, the command to get the game started, and that's what it was. It was just the gauges. You got the little view outside of the cockpit windows, and I want to say that if I remember correctly, I think the base airport was like Seattle or something. I forget, but it was literally like the drawings of a couple of buildings and the runway perspective drawing, just like you said, that went out into the distance type deal. But yeah, it was great. I had he had built homemade little joystick with one button on it, and that's what I used to. It was like an arcade style joystick that he actually built out of aluminum casing, and he just did all that stuff, and yeah, he had me flying in no time. So obviously, you know, as a pastime and all that good stuff. But that's yeah, I must have been maybe 8 years old. Obviously, I didn't get serious with flight simulation until much later on in my life. But yeah, that was the first one.
Oh, very good, very good. By the way, I want to thank Lady Dragon Girl. Looks like subscribed in. Appreciate that. Go ahead and jump in the chat there, lady, and say hello to us there. Mike, how about you? Or actually, Owls, I'm going to bring you up next since you are next on the hit parade there. What was your first flight simulator that you fooled around with?
My first flight simulator, because I'm a youngin in here, was X-Plane 11. I had got my computer, and like I said before, I found Instagram, and I saw a bunch of like flight sim planes and real world little plane spotting clips of the plane going by, and I was like, hey, I got a computer now. So I hopped on Steam. I think I got X-Plane 11 for like $20 at the time, and I just hopped on with my mouse and keyboard and start messing around with that. Much like CST said, I didn't really take it seriously until like maybe 3 months down the road, where I actually got like a little, I think most people can agree with me that are around my age, the Logitech 3D Pro. It was a side stick with a base, and it has a little throttle on it, and then like a off-brand Airbus side stick. That's what I started off with, and I think that was probably the only simulator I've played other than Roblox. I've played Roblox flight sim before, but yeah. That's what I started with. Okay,
very good, very good. By the way, while Owls was talking there, noticed Cap Zemp got in. Cap Zemp, good afternoon. A non-flight simmer is here, and really appreciate you guys checking into the chat. I'm going to try to acknowledge everybody as we go. So, Mike, I know you're watching it too. If I missed somebody, let me know. Mike, how about you? Your very first flight simulation software, and what'd you use?
Well, my very first flight simulation software was FS 2004. That's where I actually got my legitimate start on flight simming. And I can't even remember, to be honest with you, what the hardware was that I was using, but it was one of the first generation of the Logitech HOTAS systems. It was a joystick and a almost fighter jet style throttle, if you would, with a couple of switches on the base. And all I remember specifically about those two was the hardware itself was silver. It was silver plastic, and the base was blue. So it was when Logitech really kind of started getting their start in the joystick for flight simulation style hardware. And even then, I had no idea what I was doing on that simulator. I was just taking an airplane from one airport to another, just direct GPS straight there, and hopefully I didn't overfly it. So, that's where I initially got my start. And then when I really started to get serious into simming and learning SIDS and stars and transition points and getting into VATSIM and all that kind of stuff was Flight Simulator X, the Steam edition with, when they first brought the F-18 into the simulator and you could do carrier landings and stuff like that. FSX was definitely my legitimate beginning of flight simulation. But when I first started getting into it was FS 2004.
Okay. Yeah, I had 2004. That's when I started really kind of amping up my my sim participation. Then there were a few years there where I missed it, and then 10 came along, and that's what really got me hooked back into it. Then X-Plane 11 and so on and so forth. Lotto, how about you?
Yeah, for me, I remember my buddy Matt Williams still till this day, right? He still messages me and he says, I can't believe what you've done with your thing, because he's the one that, in FS 98, I went over his house and I'm like, wait, what are you doing? And at the time we used to live very close. I lived in Downey, California. We're talking about right on the path of 2.5 left and 2.4 right, maybe 1,500, 2,000 feet above us. You know what I'm saying? Of land, planes always coming into land. So FS 98, when I saw him playing that for the first time, I'm like, whoa, what is this? I didn't even know computer. I came from a third world country when I was 10 years old. So the first, 5-6 years here, I was just trying to learn English and just get, used to being in America, right? So it's like, for me, whoa, airplane, what is this? Like at the time with an accent. But when I saw that for the first time, I was like in heaven, man. I'm like, looking at it now, it's amazing how bad the graphics are, but at that time it was like next level things. Of course, more FS 2002 as well, and then got to mess around a little bit with FS 2004 Century of Flight. I wish at those times I could say that I had a PC. But I didn't. I didn't really mess around with Flight Simulator X as much, or even X-Plane when it started coming out. So more 2020 and that's when I got back into it like 100% and doing what I'm doing now.
Right on. And guys, I tell you, if you've got a picture of your flight sim set up, it would be really cool if we could show that. Now, Mike, I have a picture of yours that you put up on Discord. I can show that
I got
one.
One better for you.
Hold on. Okay, good. Right now, I've got a picture of mine up here on the screen. I've spent kind of a few years building this in a little piece at a time, and now I've considerably upgraded my computer system. And I can't remember all the specs on it, but I went from an RT 6750 XT or R whatever, an AMD card, and I went up to a GeForce RTX 4070 Super. I've got an AMD 770-700 Ryzen processor in here now. 32 gig of DDR6 RAM, and it's all liquid cooled and everything. It's not in this picture that we have on the screen right now, but I'm super thrilled with it. Let me go ahead, Mike. If you're ready, I'll go ahead and pull yours up here.
I've actually got it on video for you live.
Okay. Oh, even better. All right. Well, we've got you up on the big screen, the big YouTube screen there now, and if you want to talk about that a little bit, tell us about your setup.
Well, this is a long time coming. I was when I first got started, and Jack, I'm seeing on your end you've got OBS open.
Oh,
on YouTube.
Yes. Oh, on YouTube. Okay, great. Thanks for the heads up. Okay, there we go.
So when I first got started into flight simming, I started off with a little Dell laptop on top of my Cytec yoke that I had for so many years. And excuse the the scratches and stuff on my mouse pad. This mouse pad is very old and has seen a lot of a lot of different hardware clamped to it. So right now I'm rocking the beautiful CST tiller. Compliments of Mellow. Really appreciate that. Got a TCA side stick. And right over here on my right side, just a simple Logitech 3D Pro or a Logitech Pro throttle quadrant is what I use for my throttles. And then for computer wise, I've got a 3-screen setup. On my left hand side, I have an Asus 4K monitor, which is what I use when I'm streaming for OBS and stuff like that. My main monitor is an LG 4K monitor, 32-inch at 144 hertz. And then on my right hand side, which is what I use for like SimBrief and Volanta and all that kind of stuff, is a Samsung 1080p monitor. Along from that, up top, my webcam up there is a 4K webcam. Can't even tell you. I think it's called Depstech, if I'm not mistaken, is the company. And with the exception of some Logitech peripherals like my keyboard and mouse, computer-wise, I'm rocking an MSI GeForce RTX 4070, 12 gigabyte, overclocked by MSI themselves. i7 12700K processor with an AIO kit by Corsair. 32 gigabytes of Corsair RAM, and just a typical, 750 watt power supply with a what is my motherboard? A Z698 Pro motherboard. So that's what I'm rocking with right now, and you guys can see this is my rig right here. I have it sitting on a little nightstand to the right of my setup. Wire management's definitely not the best, but it works, and this is my everyday use.
Very nice. Yeah, I always think when you're sitting there, it just looks effortless, Mike, when you're flying. Al's, do you have something?
Yeah, send a picture and I could turn my camera over so you can see it as well. You show the picture first, though.
Okay. Let me see. That's going to be. I'm going to have to rearrange a couple of things to get to that, I think. And you just sent.
Man, what's going on?
Oh,
buddy?
okay. There it is. You just sent it in the Discord. Okay, there we go.
Yep.
If I can get it to. Okay. Is there a way I can make it bigger?
No, that's all I was just saying. I could turn my camera on here.
Okay.
Yeah, open in browser right there at the bottom which says open in browser.
Oh, okay. Let's do it. Oh, okay, Mello. Thank you. All right. Now, let me get to the right screen. Live TV, folks. What do we say? Okay. All right. Now, that should be up on the big screen there. And Al's, I'll come back to your live shot in just a minute, man. That's, golly, guys, I tell you, it's just ingenious the way you come up with some of the different setups, the way you make it work in the room that you've got. I really love that. I am literally in about an 8x8 square foot space here. When you saw my picture a moment ago. All right, let me drop that. And let me come back over to monitor 2. Okay. Al's, I'll drop the picture there, and then you're, at least I think I will. Okay, trying to get that picture to draw. Okay, there we go. All right. So, yeah, Al's, there you go. You're giving us kind of a side shot there. That looks good. All right, yeah, you're going to tell us about your rig and what you're running and all that good stuff?
Got you. So right here on this monitor, I don't actually know the exact thing, but it's not a 1440p. A lot of people think I have a 1440p monitor. I just upscale to 1440p. I think it's a 27-inch Asus 165 hertz 1080p monitor. The secondary one I'm rocking is an LG something. It's just a normal office 1080p monitor. The beast right here is a big work in progress. Like I said, it's my first PC build. So it originally had a 3070 in it, but I'll tell you what you have now. So the motherboard I got is a Asus ROG ROG Strix B550F Gaming. I'm rocking, 32 gigs of the Corsair Vengeance RAM. We got the Cooler Master, what is it called? Cooler Master H10 something, I think it's called.
Like the H510, I think it is.
Yeah,
I think you and I have the same
H510.
cooler.
Yeah. And then graphics card, I'm rocking the PNY 4070 Ti Super. I'm rocking 4 fans. I currently use the Lian Lees. I don't know what they're actually called, but I got 1 in the back, 2 in the front, and then I'm rocking the normal one that came with my case from NZXT at the top to suck air out. And then the case, obviously, I'm using is a NZXT. What is this? Give me a second. H something. I forgot what it's called, but yeah, it's the build. And then the table. I'm also using the same table as Mikey. We have the Stream Deck on here. I got audio down here. The buttons up here. CST's tiller, the lovely tiller from Mr. CST. Thank you, CST.
Yes, indeed.
And currently in the, you can't see on this side because I'm not trying to expose my toes, but we got we got the first officer set up today. So we got the side stick over here. Down there we got the yoke, my other monitor, and a keyboard. So yeah, got
all right.
The, webcams and a little ring light.
Yeah, I've got to get one of those ring lights and get a green screen set up. You guys have that, and you're just seeing the background of my office room here. So, there you go. Yeah, that you've got that set up nice, and of course, I'm sure you can drop it if you need to, and got it clamped up there. Very good, man. By the way, Goodman is here in the chat, and special announcement. Let's see, I don't have the audio up yet. We'll see if we can find that, but there's no need to fear. Underdog is here. Mello, maybe you and I know what that is, but and Dom is here. Dom just popped in. Dominic, hello. Mello, you are on next. Do you have something you can show us as far as your setup there? It's pretty cool looking, man. I've seen the picture.
Yeah, I DM'd you a picture, but
okay.
I don't have. I'm not as cool as Howl's and Mike. I'm not going to swivel the camera around and get everybody motion sickness.
Okay, let me go ahead and pull that up here. There you go.
DM. No. That's not.
No. Who's that?
No. That's right. Probably Lotto. Is that Lotto? I don't know.
Yeah, that's Lotto.
Okay.
Yeah, that's mine. Whatever you do,
do
Lotto. Not play that the video aspect of it, or at least have the volume down if you do, because it does have music in it, and it will be a
so maybe
copyright.
maybe Lotto should go next since you get that picture up.
I can go.
Yeah,
next.
Go ahead, Lotto.
So, if I don't know if you can show everybody on YouTube, but the picture will actually tell you everything that I have. So I don't know why I have all this stuff, but I barely fly. I just record. I could probably do it just with my Xbox controller because that's what I use most of the time to record. But yeah, I mean, I have two monitors as well. I only sim with one, which is an MSI 32-inch 1440p monitor, curved, and then of course I have a Dell 28-inch to my left to kind of look at Navigraph and of course Discord and all this. Airbus side stick and throttle, and of course Boeing throttle as well. And of course on that video you'll see that CST did make me a really cool with my own personal logo tiller as well. And then of course the Boeing throttle as well. You know what I'm saying? Not throttle, but the Boeing yoke as well. That's about it. So I don't have that beefy of a computer. I'm looking to upgrade now. I feel like the GPU saying, "Hey man, enough is enough. You've already beat me up for the past 2 years that you've been doing this." So I do have an i7, 32 gigs of RAM, and then of course a 3070 Ti as well, which it's worked perfectly, and I can't believe how well it's actually worked. So for the price that I got this PC for, I'm extremely happy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, good for you, man. I appreciate you guys sharing all that with us. I thought you guys gave a little more detail than I did. I thought I might bring the picture of mine back up here. I've got to find it again. Here we go. And I'll just tell it. I'll just tell you a little bit more about my setup here. I told you about the computer. But, yeah, I have this monitor has changed at this point, and I actually have a stand-up desk here, so I need to refresh this picture. But the majority of it's pretty right on. The Honeycomb Alpha flight yoke and Bravo throttle quadrant, got those in, got the Cytec radio panel. I have 3 screens, and I use this screen over to my right, which is actually behind me here in the camera shop when we get back to that. But use that for all my ancillary stuff, sim brief, everything. Of course, you see the VATSIM control in there. This screen I use for pop-out screens for the cockpit, and a 34-inch MSI gaming monitor. So that's the general overview. You can see the computer down here underneath with the 2 blue lights on the fans. That's actually my old flight sim computer, which I now have relegated to standby. I'm also a ham radio operator, so I've got my ham radio over here. But anyway, been working on this for quite a few years. You know, it started out basically with just your standard. Well, what did I have first? I had a T-HOTUS flight stick and throttle with it, and I used that for a long time. But then upgraded to CH products. I had CH products, rudder pedals, and a yoke. And then finally got up to the honeycomb stuff. So real happy with my setup. Like I said, I've spent a lot of years working on it and kind of adding to it and changing it. And my space here is pretty limited. I literally am in the corner of our laundry room. So see, my wife has stuff going even as we speak, but this is my home office area.
Oh,
got all my bookshelves, my model airplanes. Yes, I'm still a kid. My antique radios and all of that here. And then, of course, you can see the, if I can keep from shaking, but the gaming monitor and everything else set up here for my flight. I spend hours in this room, guys. I practically live in this room, go upstairs to eat and sleep. and that's about it. Well, guys, once again in the chat, if you have questions, we'd be glad and wonderful to get to answer some questions. Let's see, some of the guys, let's see, soon I'll have a setup like this. Hopefully Big Blue says, not sure which setup you're talking about there, buddy, but yeah, you know, just keep working at it. Give it time. Save your money. Do what you can. Yoham says H510K, something like that. Well, there you go. Now, here's our next question, guys, and I want to get into talking about VATSIM in a little while. I was kind of trying to see if I could delay long enough to hit Andrew. And Al's, I'm cognizant of your time frame. You've got about an hour. Mike, you'll have to keep me up to date on where Fires is in here, where you are time-wise, Mike. But here's a question that somebody asked me one time. And I thought you guys could answer this. I kind of have gained the knowledge. But, you know, back when my kids would sit and watch people play video games. Let's see. Anand says, can we see Mello's new setup, please, Captain Jack? Okay, let me see if I can pull that back up here momentarily.
It's on the chat here where we are right now.
Yeah, so okay. So let me, let's get that back in there. If somebody makes a special request. Oh, yeah. Dang, dude, this is, I tell you.
I think CST takes the cake for the setups in this.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, Mello, you know what?
I'll have that real soon too. I've been waiting for a month now from these guys.
He just instantly got it.
Man, he's even got
it. I have one small piece. I'm like, guys, can you send me the rest, please? And they think I already got it. I'm like, I never received it.
Yeah, right, for sure. Mello, tell us about it, dude. Yeah, that takes the cake. You win the prize. Go ahead.
Well, I had a old, very old GT Omega set up before this one, and our friend Lado inspired me to get a hold of Next Level and see if we could build a partnership. It was just after talking to him, I was like, and he was like, yeah, man, just let him know what you want to do with it and give him a shot. So I did. I was never going to do it. And Lado was like, yeah, man, just reach out to them, see what they say. What's the worst they can say? No. So I reached out. I said, hey, I would really like to showcase your product, check it out, review it, and tell my community and viewers what do I think about it. And literally within like 24 hours, they came back and they're like, hey, we'll be happy to send you some stuff. And they asked me a bunch of questions regarding on how I fly, how many monitors I use, and all that good stuff. And then the next day they said, hey, we'd like to send you this triple monitor stand and this cockpit. What do you think? And I said, send it. And I think it was 3 days after that, I had the stuff in the garage, and stupid me, I tried to pick up the box and bring it in the house. That wasn't going to happen because that thing is heavy. But I unboxed it piece by piece from the garage, brought everything in the room, started piecing it all together, and I'm in the process as we speak of still reviewing it and getting all the pros and cons and all that stuff before I put out a review video here on the channel and letting everybody know what I think about it, pros and cons and all that good stuff. But so far so good. It's not there is some stuff that I do not care for, but it's all little stuff that can be easily you can easily go around and make it work. But yeah, I mean, it's freaking amazing. It's literally made for flight simulation. So I'm honored. I'm very humbled that Next Level decided to actually partner with me and let me review their product, because I would have never thought that something like this would have happened. To me. I see other streamers do it all the time. Hey, look what this company sent me. Hey, look what this company sent me. And it's like, yeah, okay, great. That will never happen to me, right? But hey, just like Lotto told me, and even House is like, hey, just reach out to these people, man. What's the worst they're gonna say? No.
Yeah.
Just reach out, see what they say. House is the reason why I reached out to Orbix. Same old deal, right? Here I am sitting back thinking, yeah, Orbix is never gonna pick me up. There's absolutely no chance, dude. I'm small potatoes, right? All these huge YouTubers that you see, 30, 40, 60,000 subscribers, and they're all partnered with different companies and all that stuff. And then like I said, even as older and wiser and whatever other word you want to put in there that you think you are, there's always something to learn, even from a 16-year-old like Owls, right? Owls is like, hey, well, just fucking tell them, dude. What's the problem? Just ask. And I was like, well, you got a point, little dude. Let me give it a shot, right? Let's see what happens. So yeah, appreciate Lotto and Owls for pushing me on that. That's awesome. But yeah, like I said, I'm in the process of reviewing that. So video coming out soon. The computer, I mean, if you guys want me to, I can run you. I run two PCs. One is a gaming PC. The other one is a streaming PC. My gaming PC it's inside a Corsair 5000D case. It's got a Asus Stuff Gaming Z790 Plus motherboard in it. DDR5, Intel Core i9 13900K. Let's see what else. I do have the IQ H150 as a cooler, which I think it's like the most common one that everybody uses. I have like 4 terabytes of SSDs.
Wow.
I got 64 gigabytes of Dominator Platinum RAM. The Asus ROG Strix NVIDIA 4070 Ti. What else is in there? I mean, bunch of fans, all lit up RGB. And yeah.
Don't forget the CST color scheme.
Yeah, well, the CST color scheme is a given, but I think it's a 1,000-watt power supply on the game PC, modular and all that good stuff. And then the streaming PC is a much lighter build. It's just it's a Corsair 3000D case, which it's like the little brother of my big gaming PC. And it's got the B460M Pro motherboard in it, Intel i5 10600K. It's got a Corsair H100i, a little slightly smaller cooler. 3 terabyte, I think, on that one of storage SSD. 32 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM and a 3060 in it. I don't know if it's a 3060 Ti or just a normal 3060 GTX. I forget. It's my older build. And bunch of fans as well, all lit up, RGB and all that good stuff. And I think I'm only running a 500-watt power supply on it because of the much lighter load on that. Like I said, the only thing I use it for is to stream.
Yeah.
So basically, I send all my gaming, all my stuff from my gaming PC. I send that over to my streaming PC, and the streaming does all the OBS and all audio and all that good stuff.
I got to talk with you more about that.
My game.
Yeah, I got to talk with you more about that, because I do the same thing. It's a separate streaming computer, and I still, for the life of me, can't get the Volanta, flight information banner to go from one PC to the other. I haven't been able to figure that out. So maybe you've got some insight for me.
Yeah, you're gonna have to quit using Volanta. You gotta use SimToolKit Pro. Volanta does not give you the ability to do that.
Okay.
Even though it's a paid software. I don't know why they wouldn't do that, but
Yeah.
SimToolKit Pro, which is a free software, gives you the ability to transfer the information via IP. So if you have two computers on the same IP, you can connect the two and it'll talk to both computers. And off picture, you guys probably didn't see it on the picture that I sent you guys. I also do have the Boeing yoke and the Alpha yoke as well, and I swap stuff all the time. So GA, for example, we were saying about the GA stuff the other day. When I fly GA, I use my Alpha yoke.
Yeah.
From Honeycomb. If I fly aircraft with passenger airplanes, then I'll use the Boeing yoke, whether it's Boeing or not, right? And I have the Otis Warthog. That's a new addition right now, the Warthog Auto System, which I printed my own Airbus stick on it. And that's working out pretty good. So yeah, along with 3 or 4 different types of tillers that I've been working on.
You know, I'm hoping one day you might commercially produce those, or at least produce those to where some buddies could buy them from you. Hey, I want to move on here, and let's go ahead and get into our main topic today. Let's see, there was somebody else I wanted to acknowledge in the chat that had come up. And guys, don't forget to ask a question. Let's see, Underdog was there, Dom. Yohim, there was somebody else up in there, but I think I've missed him and I can't find him at the moment, so we'll go on with that. Let's talk VATSIM for just a few minutes, guys. It certainly has made immersion into the flight simulator. I kind of hate calling it a game. To me, it's not a game. It's more than just sitting and shooting bad guys and all this kind of stuff. Even though sometimes I feel like when we're shooting for those minus landing rates, a lot of times that's my high score. If I can get a minus under a minus 200, I feel like I've hit high score for the day. And I just really
I'm gonna punch in something. I was quiet there for a second because, as I said, I'm doing my thing today in the first officer. So I finally have nailed getting under 200 in the first officer seat this whole time.
Right on.
Well, to be fair, you know, you don't have something up for grabs today, right?
True, exactly.
I don't know if you guys just saw that stream, but I bet Owls the PMDG 777 that if he could land under a negative 150 rate in the first officer seat on stream, that I would purchase him the 777 for him when it comes out. And my guy, he put his sweatband on. He went over to the first officer and greased that landing. So,
well, Mike, looks like you're gonna have a whole lot of time to save up for that 777 coming out. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, he's already got his payment. So,
very nice, very cool. I'll watch that with interest. That's fun. Actually, that brings up another question that before we get to discussing VATSIM again, and Owls, I know you've got about 50 minutes or so.
I'm going live at 6.
You're going live, so you want to get out of here by what, 5:30 your time?
Yeah, you good. Just keep going.
Oh, okay. We'll
I
keep
think I'm the
going
only
here.
one short on time here. I think I got about 40 minutes before I have to head to work.
Okay, Mike. I'll keep that in mind as well. That's the thing, to get some of these sponsors and everything on YouTube. You do probably have to hit so many subscribers and whatnot. And guys, I appreciate a couple of people subscribing here today. We've got 15 likes on the stream. I think there's more than that in here. So if you'd press that thumbs up button, and please go to my buddies' websites here on YouTube and subscribe to them, and because they have a lot more content than I do, and they're around doing some really great stuff and great giveaways that you'll want to participate in. So anyway, Mike, what kind of level are you at this point? And to get some more of these sponsorships, what do you need to do? What's the goal for you there?
Honestly, I wouldn't even necessarily call them quote unquote sponsorships, more as if they're partnerships, right? So, you look at my channel, I'm still just under 850 subs. I'm still a relatively new YouTuber. I'm still trying to kind of find my way into this market. However, it's all about how you market yourself and how you present yourself to those that are successful in the development industry for the flight simulators, right? So I started off very simple just by shooting some DMs over to the developers themselves. And my first sponsor, and huge shout out to them, Exonos, who was the first actual official partnership of my channel. I didn't even shoot them a DM. I was watching Blue Games fly some FS 2000 or MSFS, showcasing Orbix and Exonos's new partnered Richmond International Airport in Virginia scenery. And I actually flew with Blue that day as well, just to pass by some time. And I was talking with Exonos in the chat, and he told me to just email him. So I emailed him. We got to talking a little bit, and I told him like what my goal is as a YouTube content creator in the flight simulation area of YouTube. And we just sat down and said, yeah, we'll throw the partnership up. I just want if you're showing one of our sceneries off, just throw the logo up on the thumbnail, show us in the title, put us in the description, and you can have what you want.
Nice.
And that's what I do, So Exonos is still a relatively new developer to the Microsoft area. They have a lot of sceneries for X-Plane, but their Microsoft sceneries are relatively new to the flight simulation community. And they have up and a lot more coming. And from what I understand, he can't disclose what airport it is, but from what I understand, they're actually in development of a large international airport in the US right now. So when it came down to that, it was just a matter about, showing the developers who you are as a YouTube content creator, what your goal is, and just be yourself. My second partnership that I ever, I don't want to say signed because there was no contract involved, but Vertical Sim. So everybody knows Vertical Sim.
Nice.
And for those that don't know Vertical Sim, in my opinion, he's one of the best scenery developers in the flight simulation community, bar none, right? All of his sceneries are relatively good performance. They're very detailed. I mean, he just released his St. Petersburg, I'm sorry, KPIE. I believe that's St. Petersburg, if I'm not mistaken. Clearwater International Airport. It's a fantastic scenery. And you get to talking to Vertical Sim. It's just another guy, looking to get his name out there a little bit more. And when he comes to partnering, and if I'm not mistaken, he's partnered with everyone in this chat with the exception of Jack and Lotto. I know he's partnered with Owls, he's partnered with CST, and he's just a stand-up guy. He just says, hey, I'm doing this scenery. You want to do a giveaway? Yeah, go ahead, let's do it. And if a lot of the time I notice those that want to get the acknowledgement from a developer, it's very forceful. And you don't want to force yourself upon these guys. You just say, hey, shoot them a very professional message. Say, hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. I would love to showcase your products and partner with you. Let me know what you think. And give them an opportunity to review your channel and review your content, and they'll get back to you with a yes or no. But if you force yourself upon them, then it's not an attractive business model. So that's how I got started with my two sponsors. And another shout out to the VATSIM Caribbean division is another partner of the channels here as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I'm all about promoting everybody that I possibly can and cross promoting, on every stream. I put your guys' information up there because, I want the community to grow and I want the camaraderie to exist. And I think that's extremely important. And I want to thank you guys, for all your kind words and welcoming me to the community once again. I really, really appreciate that. So once again, guys, if you haven't gone to MickityyyMike's channel, Owls, CST Gaming, Lotto, they're all just about like they sound, except for Owls. Don't forget to put in OwlZzFS, period. If somebody is watching the stream at a later time, especially. And thank you for all the likes. And by the way, guys, you've helped me hit 300 subscribers. So just want to thank that. That actually has just popped up. Thank you so much. Owls, let's talk to you.
Any developers, because Mike was saying about developers, I don't need developers of airports because I don't shoot airports, right? I shoot airplanes.
Right.
With over 162 million views now on Instagram and 362,000 followers. I think it's extremely important knowing that the eyes that are going out to a lot of people that probably don't even know flight simming that ask so many questions. I know I did a video for Air India that got 6.2 million, and every comment says, what game is this? How do I buy this game? How do I buy this? How do I buy this? And that's the thing, is like there's people in India that are trying to get into flight simming and understanding, wow, there's something out there that I don't have on my phone that is this type of quality, and probably never seen it before until possibly watching one of my videos, or maybe and now they're joining and watching these guys on their live stream to learn about it. Not only them, but possibly everybody else that's streaming that can benefit from it as well. But I'm not asking any of the developers that make sceneries, but anybody that makes airplanes, jump. Hey, shoot me a message, DM me, man. I'm ready to go. I'll make I'll do videos of your airplanes all day.
You know, Lotto, who knows who may end up watching this video down the line, as it were. I'm glad you put that out there. What's your Instagram channel? Go ahead and get that out for people.
Fly with Lotto, LADO, Fly with Lotto.
Okay,
I'm very big on. I'm focused on one thing. The next step, and that's why I watch a lot of Owls and Mello and Mike. Right, I'm focused on moving to that next level of possibly live streaming. I know I have the ability. I have the gift of gab. I mean, I'm in sales. You know what I'm saying? That's like what I do.
Hey, there you go.
In my professional life, but to be honest with you, yeah, it's just right now, it's just my time was just really focused on shorts, just do shorts, and it's worked out for me, and thank God,
Well, Lotto, I'll start putting a placard up for you on my streams, and we'll also put your Instagram channel on there. So I'm glad you jumped in and said that. Owls, let me go to you next. How about you? Talk about some of your sponsorships and what you have going on, since we're on the subject at the moment.
Yeah, grab the freaking list, man, and just open it up, man.
Well,
Everybody sit back, prop up the feet, Get a cold one if you got it.
So I originally started off with 0 sponsors, as most people do, right? And I think I had like 2,000 subscribers, and I was like, hey, we're actually getting somewhere now. I had 2,000 subscribers, but I was pulling like 40 viewers like average in a live stream. So I was like, the ratio's there. Let's try this. So the first person I think I reached out to was Vertical Sim, just because I saw Vertical Sim in my chat one day, and I was like, hey, he knows who I am, and I saw he has a Discord. I looked at his channel, so I hit him a DM, like Mikey said. I was like, I like to be professional, but I'm like the laid back professional. So I was kind of like, hey, I know you kind of watch my stuff. That's awesome. I love your sceneries. I already have your Tampa, and I was wondering if you would be able to provide some sceneries for me to review. Hopefully, have giveaways, yada yada yada. And it worked. So the first one I had was Vertical Sim. And like I said, I just not totally just straight professionalism, but kind of like a chilled, relaxed type interaction with him. And then I got him, and I started getting a little bit more, up there in subscribers, a little bit more constant live streams. And I was like, hey, this is the same thing I told Lotto. I was like, let me just ask. If I ask, they're just going to say no, or they say yes. It's one or the other. So I went on a little, I wouldn't say spree, but over the time of I think 2 months, I reached out to Bravo's Airspace when they had their event over there. I'm looking at the list now just to make sure I don't miss anybody. I had R&D presets because I was checking out some of their sceneries up in Europe. And then recently I did Orbix, and that was just because I forgot who showed me it. But it was Information Alpha. He showed me that Orbix had like a kind of like a partnership program, and I was like, hey, all right. So I filled it out. I wasn't expecting anything back, but like I said, you fill it out and they say no or they say yes. So I filled it out and I got that one, which was awesome. And then of course Exanos, and then we had Parallel 42 in the Caribbean division, which are some of the newer ones. But yeah, it's more so just me asking and at least knowing where I'm standing, because obviously this isn't just me getting free sceneries. They want something out of this too. So say I ask Vertical Sim, hey, can I check out your Tampa scenery? And I have 4 subscribers and 2 viewers. I get something out of that, but Vertical Sim's not getting much of exposure. So you kind of just have to know where you stand in the situation, but also just ask, you know what I mean? But again, don't ask if you know that they're not really going to succeed from anything you're doing with them.
Yeah.
Reality, Go ahead, CST.
I was gonna say the cool thing about I won't say all of these developers and companies or whatnot, right? When you're talking, Next Level and Toby Eye Tracker, and developers of scenery and airplanes, most of them, I would say most of them, not all of them, don't do it. Obviously, they do it for the exposure, right? But a lot of them do it to help the content creator out as well, right? So, and I got that with like companies like Flightbeam and even RD, right? They literally said, "Hey, the question, the answer was not, sure, what would you like to do type deal." The answer by developers like Flightbeam and RD were, "We'll be happy to enrich your channel and watch you grow" type deal, right? So I can appreciate that from a developer that really doesn't need too much exposure, but they're willing to put their hand out there and be like, okay, yeah, we can definitely, we'll take a look at your channel. We like what you see, and we'll definitely like to help you grow and get to that next level. So I think when you have a developer that does that, it's abnormal to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, you guys, you're doing a wonderful job, I think, representing the community and representing the level of professionalism that you want to do with these guys. And it just furthers everything, I think, in the community. And I'm really, once again, glad to be able to, let people know about what you've got going on. We had a question here, so let me do this first.
There's no need to fear. Underdog is here.
Ah, there you go. An underdog's got a question. So he asks, if y'all weren't doing flight sim, what would you be doing instead? And underdog, I'll answer that. I'm also an amateur radio operator and ham radio. And I actually run a linked repeater system. If any of you guys know anything about amateur radio, ham radio, and repeaters, I do that. I'm also a broadcast radio engineer and former on-air guy on radio. So that's one of the reasons we decided to set up this podcast thing here, is to kind of give us all an avenue to benefit the community that we love, but do some of the other things we like as well. And in my case, radio and doing fun little things on my stream like that. CST, how about you? Underdog asks, what would you be doing if you weren't flight simming and streaming? Go ahead, CST, what you got?
Well, some of the things that I still do, but actually, shared time with flight sim as well. I have a passion for motorcycles. I have a passion for RC aircraft and drones. I must have probably about, I won't put a number on it, but there's a few $1,000s of RC airplanes and equipment and stuff in the garage. So,
Nice.
But I have way too many hobbies, and I am
Not enough hours in the day.
and I consider myself lucky I'm not single yet, because numerous times I've been threatened by my better half that if I buy another RC plane, or if I buy another motorcycle, or if I buy another peripheral for Flight Simulator, that she's gonna pack my shit up and kick me out.
So you started building your own with the tiller then, right?
So that's why I had to resort to learning how to do that type of stuff, because I was like, if I keep buying stuff, she's gonna want me out of the house. So I said, all right, well, I got a 3D printer. I know how to do stuff mechanically because I'm pretty good with it. Let me Google some stuff and let me see what I can find out. I learned how to use CAD, and learn how to program Arduino boards, and the rest is history. So yeah, I got a lot of hobbies, and most of my hobbies are very expensive. So I wouldn't suggest anybody follow my lead, but yeah.
Yeah, you know what they say, the difference between boys and men is the price of their toys. Mike, how about you, buddy? What else would you be doing if you weren't doing what you're doing?
Well, I've got two answers to this. I mean, if it was anything to do with gaming, I would definitely try my best to get my foot into the professional esports, motorsport driving and racing. I'm a huge motorsport fan, so the GT3 Circa and Formula One racing and all that kind of stuff is definitely something that I would try and dip my foot into. Other than that, I mean, really, honestly, if it had nothing to do with streaming, PC gaming, anything like that, I'm very much so a firearm connoisseur. I love handguns, so competition shooting was definitely something that I've been looking into, and doing some competition style, quick draw, fire 2 downrange, and see how accurate you are within a course and how fast you can qualify. all that kind of stuff. Because I think going to a gun range, in my opinion, for those that can and are allowed to and old enough to do so, obviously I am very much so a safety guy when it comes to being at a gun range. So competition shooting is definitely something that I'm super, super interested in, been thinking about getting into myself. Because there's something just, it might sound weird to me, but it's weird to people, but it's something very relaxing about just going and popping off some rounds at a gun range, if it's not shooting, then it would definitely just be what's the word I'm looking for? Crafts, honestly. Like I'm 27, I love building Legos and stuff like that, So
that's
like
awesome.
when I was a kid, I used to take apart model cars and stuff like that and just take them out and put them into pieces on a desk and try and put them back together myself. So, like model cars, model airplanes, competition shooting, and then obviously I would try and get into the esport version of motorsport racing.
Okay. Very cool. Al's, how about you?
I was thinking this entire time, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't even really know, because when I was younger, it was planes, and then when I got a little bit older, it was I don't know, and then it went back to planes again. So
jet fuel runs in your blood, brother.
yeah, I was my other hobbies. I was versus tennis. The things that I used to really be in, apart like mainly me like not, it wasn't stuff that I really wanted to do, but like options. Surprisingly, was school bus driver. I used to really like.
That's awesome.
I used to really like school buses.
I love that.
I would get on the school bus when we go on field trips at first. I would love it. And then we started getting that bus run down because I went to a private school, so we only had like one big bus, and that bus started to run down. So we were looking at getting a new one. And me loving school buses, I start looking and researching different type of buses I like. So if anybody knows, I'm talking about the SAF T-liner from Freightliner, I think it's a Thomas built buses. I used to really like that one. Then we actually got that one, and I would sit in the seat. The bus driver was here. And I would sit in the seat like diagonal to her, like right behind her, and I'll like watch you drive. I don't know, just bus driving seemed pretty cool.
Well, it's a very niche answer, right? But at the same time, you have people that are obsessed with 18-wheelers and stuff like that. And that's like why American Truck Sim and Euro Truck Sim has become a thing on the computer. And it's actually a fantastic, fantastic game. If you've ever sat there and played, it's a lot of fun, right? So like I laughed initially because I was like I was not expecting that answer, but it's a legitimate thing, right? It's a very niche market that a lot of people aren't really into, but that's cool. I've never knew that.
That's awesome. Thanks, Al. Zlato, how about you, man? Let me switch you up here. What would you be doing
in the past year? I said it even earlier. Like this has been it's been therapy for me, right? It's not even I wasn't doing this for any other reason that mentally I was going down like a dark path. I think when you lose someone, especially when it's like just all of a sudden it just comes out of the blue. Hey, boom, they got cancer. 2 weeks later, dead. It's like, whoa, what in the world has just happened? And shakes your world up. And to be honest with you, I couldn't even imagine it because like that's my passion right now, right? That's what I love is to get in this simulator and just I can sit in here for 3 hours and not even make a flight, but just fly around and record. Or even what I did earlier, I did a flight which should have taken me an hour and 30 minutes from Detroit to St. Louis, and it took me 3 hours. Why? Because the first hour, all I was doing is just going right through the metro airport. And that's I think if somebody says, what would you be doing if you're not simming? I'd probably be at the airport, just sitting at the airport. I used to do this not only as a kid, but even when I was in my 20s, I would literally just go into the airport. Now you can't, you know what I'm saying? It's a little bit different. You need a ticket to be able to go in there. But if I could just be around the airport, that would be my thing. Cause like airplanes is the number one, love of my life. I mean, I can just go to the airport and just watch airplanes land and take off and be like, man, I'm in heaven. You know what I'm saying?
Besides
think that, I mean, I'm in sales, right? So I would probably be doing something like that, and but I sell mortgages in a sense, right? So I kind of make I'm make people's dream come true when it comes to get to their home. So that's what I do right now.
Nice.
But then of course I do this on the side as well.
Yeah. You know, I think, Lotto, were I to need a job right now, probably the thing that I would do first and foremost is go apply for some job at an airport, or maybe even see if I could get on as a flight attendant, you know?
Bro, if my job didn't pay so well, I'm not going to lie to you, I would have been like, all right, how much is that? 15 an hour? I might. It's tempting.
Yeah.
To go work at the airport, but you know, sometimes you got to pay the bills. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's exactly true. Yoham had a question next, and we're going to go to that. But somebody was asking about severe weather in Kansas, and I found this. I thought I'd just pull this up real quick and let you know that at the time of this recording, which is a little after 3 o'clock Mountain Time on May 19th, there's a tornado warning for the area of Russell, Kansas. Severe thunderstorm watch right in the central part of Kansas. I've got some friends who are driving through that area right now on Interstate 70. So it'd be an interesting day to try to fly into Kansas City, or maybe a smaller central Kansas airport in the simulator, and see what that brought up. Yoham, our good buddy Yoham, guys, asked a few minutes ago, what are you looking forward to most with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 coming up? So, Mike, I'll go ahead and come to you. CST's back. Okay, go ahead, Mike. What are you looking forward to most in 2024?
I honestly think with Microsoft 2020, we've hit a bit of a revolutionary style simulator, right? You know, this is the first simulator in years that we've seen that looks the way it looks and is as accurate as it can be when it comes to the aesthetic pleasing of what the game looks like, right? However, over the last 4 years, give or take, there have been a lot of gripes about how the simulator performs. And no matter how good a sim may look, I think every flight simmer, every content creator, every person that has ever loaded into a simulator can say that their first and only main concern is performance and how good the simulator runs. So my hopes for Microsoft 2024 is we're there graphically. Graphically, there's really not much to improve on. Granted, they can improve on some things, right? But we're there. So what I want to see is optimization of performance. I want to see better performance because my rig, you know, granted, I don't have the best of specs, but I have a pretty beastly computer that I've built over the last 5 years. And there should be zero reason, absolutely zero reason why I should be loading into a simulator and struggling for good performance, you know, with, you know, medium to high settings. You know, I don't even run ultra settings on my simulator. I run everything at a high preset, medium to high. And I still sometimes, like, I load into the Phoenix in Detroit or JFK or LA, and it's like, man, my computer's struggling, dude. So that's my biggest gripe with Microsoft right now, because as much as people or simmers want to hate on one or the other, when I was flying on X-Plane, I didn't have those issues. You know, I would load into a TOLUS, a Flight Factor, or whatever in one of the densely populated areas, i.e. LA, JFK, or anything like that. And if you guys know any of X-Plane sceneries, there are some pretty high fidelity sceneries for X-Plane as well, or Las Vegas per se. Then I'd be shooting 70, 80 frames on the ground with ultra settings, right? Now, granted, does X-Plane have the best, you know, ground graphics or anything like that, with the exception of having to add ortho into there? No. But that's my two biggest things for Microsoft 2024 is graphic optimization and performance for simmers, and flight model. Flight model is a big thing for me. You know, X-Plane's flight model is phenomenal. I think anybody that's flown X-Plane knows that the flight model is one of the best things they have to offer in that simulator. Yep. So I desperately want Microsoft to get a handle on their flight model and understand the characteristics of how an aircraft actually flies. Because when, for example, and it's the same with the aircraft developers, for example, if I'm in the CRJ and I'm barreling down a runway out of Phoenix or something like that at 100 plus knots, and I go like this on my rudder pedal, and I make the slightest of input, there is zero reason why my aircraft should be shooting off the center line, right? And doesn't matter what you do sensitivity setting wise, doesn't matter how many curves you edit or anything like that, it's still very sensitive. So those would be my biggest things for Microsoft 2024 is optimization for performance and graphics, and flight model.
Okay, that that makes a lot of sense. I'll tell you, and I agree with. Let's see. By the way, hello, Pitchy Roll. Pitchy Roll's in here. Somebody a moment ago in the chat said the default airport scenery could definitely be improved, and that would be a big one for me. Yeah, I totally agree with that. CST, what about you, Mello? What do you think? Where's my mouse? Get back over here. What do you think? What are you looking forward to in 2024? What are some of your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think you're gonna get the same response from most people when it comes to performance and frames and all that good stuff. Obviously, I am not one of those. When it comes to explain, let's just say that I'm not the most loved content creator because I genuinely do not care for explain. Whether it's the flight model or even the visuals, there's and it goes back to me telling people it's your opinion, right? It's what you like. The reason that you like explains flight model might not necessarily be because the flight model is better than Microsoft or vice versa. It's because that's what you're used to. And when you hear people talking, oh, the flight model on X-Plane is better than Microsoft Flight Sim, it's mostly those people that started their flight sim experience with X-Plane, right? I've never doubled an X-Plane until X-Plane 12. I've always been a Microsoft guy. FS, pick a number or a letter. Up until now, I've always been a Microsoft Flight Sim type of guy. So when I go and fly X-Plane 12, I freaking ate the flight model. I think it doesn't fly right. It doesn't hat right. It bounces. The plane's taxi way. Like for example, I'll give you an example. The 757 by Flight Factor. I fly that a lot. When I taxi that plane around, just taxiing the plane around feels like I'm taxiing the Cessna. Right? It has no weight. It has no feeling. It bounces like it's on pongo sticks. It's just, to me, it's not realistic, right? But you talk to other people that are like, oh, the flight model on X-Plane is on point, right? So I don't think it's going back to what my belief is. I don't think one is better than the other. I think people prefer one over the other because of their experience with either X-Plane or Microsoft. That's just my 2 cents. But what I'm looking for in Microsoft 2024 is obviously performance. I want to be able to, just like Mike was saying, my PC, there's no reason I should get FO starter when I'm loading in any airports or any airplanes in Microsoft Flight Sim, and I still do. I get starters. The micro little starters here and there. I'll get some freezes once in a while. And I think it's the optimization of Microsoft 2020 that's just not there, right? It's definitely lacking performance, right? So with X-Plane 12, I kind of get the same results. I get the occasional starters and freezes and all that good stuff. And I got to go and revert to turning down my settings. So, I mean, it's almost the same thing, right? The way I look at it right now with X-Plane, I think that they're moving in the right direction, possibly, especially with the new beta that just came out with that. Because as much as I don't do too much X-Plane, if X-Plane was at an acceptable level, in my opinion, I would much rather have 2 sims than one, right? Have that option to say, you know what, today I'm going to fly X-Plane 12 because I don't have a 757 on Microsoft Flight Sim, so I'm going to go fly that. But when I do that, kind of like what I did recently, I have a horrible experience. I just don't like the way the plane flies. I don't like the way the sim looks. So that option for me is still not there. But I want that option. So I want Laminar to do good. I want X-Plane 12 to be a good sim. But in my opinion, it's just not there. But when I go on Microsoft Flight Sim, the performance is not quite there yet. Just like we've been talking about, that's the main point of discussion is what do I want from 2024? Performance. That's all I want. Because why? Why is that? Because the visual is there. The planes, even though some people might not like the way the planes handle or fly or whatever, I think they're there. So it's all what I consider opinionated, right? In my opinion, the planes fly great. Obviously, not all planes, right? Let's be quite honest here. Captain Sim 777 doesn't fly like a 777, but I do truly believe that when we're talking flight models, I think that you could consider the PMDGs and the Phoenix to be pretty good damn planes when it comes to flight model and everything else, and the way they taxi, the way they handle themselves. When it comes to some of the things that Mike was saying about, the router inputs, and that might not necessarily be the aircraft fault. That might be a sim fault, if you know what I mean. The way the sim is coded, right? And I do hope that that's something, because I agree with you. Some things are not right. Like the wind in Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, when we have a 5-knot gusty wind from the left, it feels like we have 50 knots coming across the damn runway. So that's definitely not realistic. But is that a flight model issue? No, I don't think that's a flight model issue. I think that's just a sim issue, right? So those are some things that I think Microsoft and Asobo need to rectify on their end. And I think the developers that are developing this high fidelity airplanes are trying to do their best when it comes to flight model within the sim they working into, right? And I think the other thing that I would like to see more once Flight Simulator 2024 comes out is more freaking developers. Because this monopoly with PMDG and Phoenix being the only people developing high fidelity aircraft, and is enabling them to be lazy, for lack of better words. Because as far as I can believe the fact that it's a process, and it's a challenging process at that, to develop an aircraft with such high fidelity characteristics. But at the same time, when you're telling me that it takes 5 years to develop an aircraft, I think if that is the the boat you're willing to sink yourself in, then I think you might want to change the job, right? Because if I was a roofer, right, and I come to your house and I tell you, well, it's going to take me 12 months to fix your roof, you would be like, well, I'll go find somebody else. But if I was the only person, right, if I was the only person to be able to fix your roof, then you'd be like, well, you know what? I got to wait 12 months.
Yeah.
That's
guys,
the only choice I got. So
I hate to interrupt, but I do apologize. Real life is calling, and I do have to get to work. So there are just quickly two things that I saw in chat that I'm gonna mention real quick. Zemp, I know your question is up next. I know they're gonna get to it as I finish up this question. To answer your question, favorite airplane ever built is the Boeing 757-200. What separates that from others is just the performance capabilities of that airplane. And secondly, what Orlando Salmarin said in chat is a better in-flight replay tool.
Yes.
100% agree.
Yep.
100% agree. And this is another thing that I'll bring up. X-Plane was. I think Microsoft needs to take an example from X-Plane, because X-Plane's replay tool is phenomenal.
Yeah.
X-Plane 12, I've heard their replay tools kind of taken some hits when it comes to crash to desktops and this, that, the third. But when I was running X-Plane 11, being able to throw my aircraft onto a short final with the replay tool, to have the flaps extend by themselves, to have the spoilers deploy on touchdown, to see the reversers actually come out on the airplane when they were activated, and all that kind of stuff. I think Microsoft definitely needs to have a really sophisticated replay tool in 2024. I think that's almost necessary for the flight simulators, especially content creators, and for those like Lotto, who does what he does on Instagram. I think a replay tool would help him out tremendously, because all of his shorts, mind you, what you're seeing is live camera capturing what he's doing. He's flying the aircraft and recording at the same time. So maybe a replay tool would help out. But unfortunately, guys, I do have to get out of here. I do have to get to work and make my real money. So I wish I could stay longer. I really do. But unfortunately, I do have to cut the conversation short.
PTO.
Mike, thanks so much. Thanks for being here. We'll get another one going here in a couple of weeks or so, and I think we're going to push the VATSIM topic off because Andrew couldn't show up. And
That's fine.
You've got to run. Al's has got to go here soon. It'll be me and Lotto and CST for another half hour or so. Well, 40 minutes anyway. So thanks for being here, mate. Good to see you. Your streams are coming back up. You're going to have time?
Yeah. I know, unfortunately, this last week or two, I know my streams have been kind of meh as of recent when it comes to the amount of content that I've been pushing out. But unfortunately, life has just kind of slapped me in the face the last couple of weeks. And those that know what's been going on, then they know. And just to keep a long story short, I had a water heater burst in my garage and flood a portion of my downstairs. So for the better part of the last week, I've had technicians coming in and out of the house to get things fixed and inspect for water damage and mold and this, that, the third. And on top of that, fiance and I have been apartment shopping. We've been getting our wedding venue secured and all that kind of stuff. So life has really been very, very, very busy. So sooner than later, I actually have a transfer request at work to change my shifts to work overnight. So I will no longer be going into work at 3 p.m. I will be going into work at 11 p.m. and working overnight in the graveyard situation, which means my streams will be going from early morning Pacific Standard Time to late afternoon Pacific Standard Time. I'm looking about 4 or 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard is probably about what my live stream times are going to be. When that happens, I will keep you guys updated, and we'll go from there. But yes, I will be live again tomorrow, 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific Standard Time. Not sure what we're flying, not sure what I'm going to do. I'm going to get all that set up tonight when I get home from work. So appreciate you guys all having me per the usual. And in reference to the VATSIM topic, Jack, Owls, and I might, Owls, and CST might have another person that might be interested on the panel. It's the vice president of the VATSIM Caribbean division, EJ. I think he'd be very interested in joining this panel.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, even better, even better. Well, Mike, God bless. Have a safe night. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.
All right, sounds good, guys. From the virtual flight deck, I'll see you.
I think I might also have to start getting out of here to get my stuff set up as well, dude.
Well, Al's, let's go. Let's let you do that real quick. The question on what are you looking forward to most in 2024?
They already said most of the stuff I'm thinking, but the main thing I would say is I want to see 2024 as an entirely new simulator and not such more as an update. The trailer that I've seen, it looks great, it looks awesome, but it looks like a DLC, like an update. It doesn't look like an entirely new simulator. So I want to see. Obviously, I know they're gonna be having more stuff than what they showed, but I want to see it have better flight models, the replay tool, way better performance. And what I want to also see, which I don't think anybody has said, is you guys set the wind, but I want to see an entirely better weather engine. Sometimes in Microsoft, when there's like a storm, it looks like a freaking CGI movie, whatever that mess is. They'll have like a 20,000 foot cloud trailing over with like another cliff of mountains. I want to see it not as exaggerated. I think it'll be better to see if it's a thunderstorm, a thunderstorm located in one little area, not trail across 20 miles looking like a, I don't even know what it's called, but yeah, I think that's what I would like to see.
Okay, buddy. Well, you've got a stream coming up here in about 35 minutes at, let's see, 6 o'clock Eastern? What? Tell us about it. What are you going to be doing?
Well, I pushed it back just a little bit because I realized I kind of went over the time and I got to eat dinner and stuff, so it's at 6:30 now. But today, I will be flying as a first officer. I have my yoke and not yoke. I have my side stick and my throttle flipped. I got my seat on the other side, like wrong side, and we'll be flying around doing LaGuardia over to Charleston, and also having a LaGuardia scenery giveaway today. And then we're going to be doing Charleston over to Boston. So it should be a nice little longer stream, having a giveaway and flying as a first officer.
Good deal. Well, I'll be checking in, and I'll try to win some new scenery. That's always a good thing. I don't have any sponsors either, so hey, new scenery, awesome. But Al, thanks for being. I'd also like to
give a shout out to Mr. Alpha. He's in the Caribbean division. For VATSIM, he works in that area, and he was saying how he loved the content. He loved to also give away a copy of LaGuardia. So shout out to Alpha for letting me give a copy away today.
Oh yeah, and it would be wonderful to get those guys on the discussion group here. Well, be safe, man. We'll see you next time, and we'll look forward to your flight here this evening, brother. Cheers. There you go, Lotto. Last one on this question. Anyway, what are you looking forward to most in 2024? Have you thought about it?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's exactly what these guys are saying. I think the biggest thing, and if we all look in the last 4 years of what we've done, I don't even want to look at how much money we spend on these, on all the sceneries and right. But like, Mello said it perfectly. Like these developers cannot be lazy, right? We need it very bad. It's sad that somebody has to leave a sim that's been out for 4 years and say, "Hey, I need to go fly the A340-600 on X-plane," right? Like this is where developers needed to come in and say, "Okay, what are the important planes that people are really asking for?" And we have to make sure the 777 should automatically be here, not from Captain Sim, but one of the big developers like PMDG.
Yeah.
The A350 is another airplane that it was so badly needed 2 years ago as being one of the most popular airplanes in the world. I mean, it's literally one of the biggest search airports on airplanes on TikTok and Instagram. So like, why don't we have that, right? And for me, it's just having, as one of the members on the chat said, "Hey, can we have some better airports?" Like, it's sad that I have to buy airports. And what's even sadder, and I don't mean any disrespect to any of the developers that make airplanes. I understand that it's very tough, but there shouldn't be developers out here that absolutely they can create these airports for absolutely free in Japan and in the Middle East, and they look amazing. I don't know if you've ever seen Muscat or any of the Japans, but these are all freewares, and they're,
Oh, wow.
I mean, I'm sorry, but not even some of the high level, you know what I'm saying, developers that you're paying $25 for can even keep up with that type of scenery. And you know what? They didn't think, I'm like, oh, let's pay attention to a guy walking across the, I don't care who's walking inside the terminals, right? I don't care if you make it fake. You know what I'm saying? If I can go in there or not. For me, can you make it smaller? Because I had to go buy an 8 terabyte hard drive just to be able to create my content, right? I need a little bit more. But what about somebody that only has 1 gig, right? And doesn't have the money, doesn't have the means to be able to go and grab more. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like they're almost out. If you've been buying, if you've been buying these sceneries, especially the US sceneries, I don't know why every single US scenery is 2 gigabytes or 3 gigabytes when I'm getting a free scenery for 20 megabytes. And it's like, where's the disconnect? Why some developers in the Middle East or even in Asia are able to create these sceneries that are very, very nice looking and very FPS friendly, but they're very small when it comes to size. But then when you got, the big developers are creating 3-5 gigabyte scenery, and in the end, it's like I could barely run my sim into it. I'm running 23 frames per second. Thanks for, I just paid $23 or $25 just to not really even, because you don't want to fly when you're getting that type of FPS and that type of performance. You don't want to even fly in those places. It sucks. It's like I bought it and now it's like I want to fly there, but I really can't unless I just do it with no airplanes, not on VATSIM, no other traffic, no nothing. And I think that's another thing we need. We need a very good traffic system in the sim as well, right? I think a lot of people fly offline and they would like, AIG is great, right, for what it does, but it wastes a lot of performance, FSLTL, a lot of performance, right? So a lot of these things, but I don't care for like, hey, yeah, look, I could put out fire and all this. Will it be a new sim? Because that's what I'm looking for. Even though they say it's going to be, I don't think so either. I know Mello was shaking his head. I have this feeling it's just going to be kind of like here's a patch. We're just going to throw this on here just for people to be able to have something new. For me, performance, make these airports a little bit smaller from all these developers, or even if it's Microsoft or Asoba that's doing it. And then another thing is we need new airplanes so we don't have to keep moving back and forth from one sim to another because we can't fly the 757 or we can't fly, you know what I'm saying? So like, that's my biggest thing.
Yeah, there's some great comments in the chat here, too. Yoham says Japan freeware is on top, small size 1010 scenery. Anon Flight Simmer says Muscat International freeware is great looking scenery.
My favorite.
Good. Yeah, I'll have to.
If you have not downloaded that scenery, please go download that scenery. You will. I fly there once a week just because of the sheer beauty of it and the fact that I can run 60 frames per second inside that airport.
Okay. Underdog says 2 words: texture resolution. Also, some textures on airport sceneries don't need 4K and 8K textures to look good. good. Absolutely, I totally agree with that. Cab Sim says KDTW is so good. I'll have to take a look at that one. Mello, did we get all your comments on that? Any follow up?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. With the cine, when it comes with scenery, like you're not gonna find any good quality airplanes. Maybe you'll find some good mods for airplanes on FlightSim.to, but as far as airplanes, most of the things on anywhere is FSX exported aircraft that are complete garbage. So I wouldn't go downloading airplanes from FlightSim.to or Xplane.to or whatever for you guys on Xplane. Well, maybe Xplane actually does have some good freeware projects and stuff like that, but I'm not quite sure. But as far as sceneries, before I know the NM Flight Simmer, a good friend of mine, he's on chat, one of my mods. He does that a lot. Before he goes out and spends money on a scenery, he'll go on FlightSim.to and check it out. He'll download it, go into the sim and kind of take a look at it. And if it meets all your criteria, which if you're a flight simmer, let's face it, what are you looking for? You're looking for good, decent textures, right? On the ground textures. You're looking for taxi lines and taxi signs, parking gates, operational jetways, right? And the buildings that kind of look realistic, right? Because the stock buildings in Microsoft Flight Sim, they look like hotels, not terminals, right? So as long as you got those things and they meet the criteria of it looking like a legitimate airport, and maybe night lighting as well, I will go and change the time and make sure the night lighting is also good.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you got those things, then there's no reason to go out and spend money on a scenery, on a third party scenery, and unless obviously you are capable of doing so, because obviously for the most part, many sceneries, when you pay for, you get what you pay for, right? So if it's free, it's free. Let's be frank, right? They might meet a certain criteria. Aside from the Japan thing, I think the Japan guys do a freaking outstanding job, and I agree with Lotto and everybody else on that. But any other free scenery that you get here and there, they do meet the criteria. You are able to use them if you are on a budget. If you got the money, obviously, there's a lot of sceneries out there that are freaking fantastic, right? If you got the money and you're willing to take the hit on performance, or your machine can handle it, right? But yeah, I would definitely check FSTO first. Download it. It doesn't cost you anything, right? Download it, check it out, see what it looks like. And if you're happy with it, fly it, man. There's no reason for you to go spend 20, 30, 40 bucks on a scenery, right? The ability to be able to be partnered with companies like Arbex and people like Vertical Sim, and it's given me the ability to relax a little bit on that divorce thing I was talking about earlier, because the amount of money that I've been spending is something ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
So definitely, I mean, am I never going to buy sceneries again? There's lots of scenery that I still buy. As a matter of fact, I just bought one a couple of days ago. I could have went to Orbex or the developer itself and be like, hey man, let's do a giveaway. But I kind of feel like I don't want to be that guy that asks every week about a scenery or something like that, right? So at the same time, yes, I like the partnership with the developers, but at the same time, I want to be able to give to that developer as well, right? I don't want to be the guy that always takes, but never gives. And I've done things with a developer already where it's like, hey, look, check it out, man. I want to do this scenery. I'll buy this scenery from you, but just give me a free copy so I can give it away. So it's one of those deals where it's like, hey, I'm buying the scenery for myself, but can you provide me a copy for the community, right?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's kind of the deal I do, because I don't know, I kind of feel a little greedy if you go in and be like, hey man, can I have 3 copies of the scenery, 1 for me and 2 for the. It's like, some of these guys, it's their jobs, right? It's how they make a living. So I don't know. Maybe I'm corny, maybe I'm stupid. I don't know. Call me whatever you want, but I think about Like my brain is always 100 miles an hour, and always thinking about that type of stuff, right? If I was a developer and I had a guy breathing down my neck, like, hey, can I get a scenery? Can I get a scenery? I'd be like, dude, chill, man, time out. What the hell are you doing over here? Right.
Yeah.
So I kind of put myself in their shoes sometimes and be like, let me think about this one, right? So yeah, but having that in my back pocket is always great, right? To be able to see sceneries firsthand and showcasing them, and it goes back to, in a way, giving back to the community as well by showcasing the sceneries and being able to do giveaways and stuff like that. So that's always a plus.
Yeah.
But FlightSim.to is a must, man. I'm pretty sure that everybody that's watching us or everybody that is on FlightSim knows about FlightSim.to, right? Because that's literally should be your first stop when it comes to scenery, GSX profiles, liveries, all that good stuff. So
there's
I'm pretty
so
sure
much. Yeah, there's so much good stuff on FlightSim.to. I have pulled so much stuff off of that, and it really makes things so much better. One of the things about 2024 that I hope they do is better lighting at night for airports. Mello, you touched on that just a little bit. I really am hoping that they'll have a better lighting of the airports, because some of the default airports at night are just black, just so dark. It's really hard to get around them. And I had a really good add-on from FlightSim.to that lit up every airport, just about every airport I would fly at. It lit it up so nice, had really great lighting. And when I switched my computers over, I can't seem to find it. So I've got to hunt that a little more. Hey, guys in chat, you might comment on this question as well. And then we'll hear from Mello and Lotto here. Game or simulator? Taken in the strictest of terms, game or simulator? I tend to lean more towards simulator. And the reason being is because you're actually doing stuff that is done in the real world and trying to emulate it or simulate it as closely as possible and to learn as much as we can. And some guys just like to fly around and crash into whatever, or what. Some guy asked me one time, did you try to crash into a building? And I'm like, no, I try to miss buildings. I try to land on runways. Game or simulator, your thoughts. Lotto, I'll come to you first. And guys in the chat, if you comment on that, I'd appreciate that.
So I'm a perfect example of, my type of content shows it as a video game, right? I'm not really showing anything. Anybody that's watched my things, I'm not showing where it's like a perfect ILS approach, right? And trying to show that aspect of it. I just try to show the sheer beauty of the airplanes, right? And mix it in with music, right? Music and airplanes is what I've done since day one. At first, it was very upsetting when everybody would call it a game. And now in a year and a half of doing what I've been doing on, Instagram and a little bit on YouTube and TikTok and all these other different platforms, I realized that it doesn't matter what people call it, and it doesn't matter how they use it, right? Are some going to use it as a simulator? Absolutely. There's a lot of people that take advantage of this to be able to. I have a buddy of mine that just got his Cessna, his private license, and he said, "Hey, man, I used Flight Simulator, which was Microsoft Flight Sim, when he first started doing everything as just knowing where all the checkdowns, and all this." And I think it's such a huge thing, and that's where it becomes a simulator. I still think it's that, because if I know we were supposed to talk about VATSIM. If I go on VATSIM, I treat it as I'm really flying with 152 people in the back of the airplane, even though I'm not, right? I try to do everything the right way or learn as much as possible when it comes to it. I've never one time did I think, oh, let's go hit a building, right? And I don't. That's not my mindset on that, and I wouldn't even think about doing something like that. But of course, a lot of the younger generation, they just like how funny it is to be able to do this and that. To me, yeah, simulator. But you know what? I used to get upset when people said game, but let people use it the way they want to, right? I know that everybody's got their own little thing and how they want to say it and what it should be. If somebody's using it just to pop on and just use their joystick and be able to fly around, who cares, man? Let them. In that sense, you know what? Let them have a good time, because who are we to tell anybody, you know, what they're doing with their life, you know? But
Yeah.
for me, definitely a simulator. Definitely a simulator, especially when you do VATSIM, you know, 100% simulator. And anybody that does VATSIM, treat it as one. Don't treat it as a game, because you know what? We're all there trying to have a good time and enjoy our simulator as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well said. You know, it boils down to the individual for sure. And I love some of the comments in the chat, too. They're kind of following along the same line. Mello, what are your thoughts, sir?
It depends on who you are. That's pretty much what it boils down to. Especially, so for people like me, you, Jack, and you know, some of the people in chat. I know Aaron Flat Simmer is a little on the older side. CFI is probably on the older side than a lot of the younger generations out there doing playing Flight Simulator nowadays, or X-Plane, or whatever sim it is. But for people like us, when we first got introduced to Flight Simulator, even in the days when we started doing the VATSIM or Eval or whatever platform you did, as far as, you know, ATC and traffic and all that good stuff, that this was a very unique deal, right? It wasn't a game. It was always considered a simulator for the older the older enthusiast, if you will, right, of aviations and stuff like that. So it was never marketed as a game, right? It was always marketed as a simulator, and you never had you know, a father or a mother, you know, come home and be like, oh, hey, look, Timmy, look what I bought you, a flight simulator, right? No, that's not what it was. It was like, hey, look what I bought you, a Nintendo with Super Mario, right? There was a distinct separation between a flight simulation and an aviation game, right? That you used to see back in the days with the consoles and even PCs, right? The today though, with the Xbox, right? The flight simulator got introduced to a whole different group of people, right? And that's when it is now being sold and advertised as a game, even by Microsoft themselves. There's really no shame, right? Because when you look at Microsoft and Asobo, right, unlike maybe X-Plane, they are marketing this thing as a game, right? Because that's where the money's at, right? Because why would you only want to sell to people like me and Jack and Lado, right? Who liked flight sim because they love aviation? Why can we sell this to 12-year-old Timmy or 14-year-old whoever that like to play games, and they're like, oh, look, mommy, I'm flying a plane, right? It's money. Money's money, dude. So I think in a way Microsoft got smart in doing that, and I can appreciate the fact that they did that, because I think in the long run it's going to be beneficial to the flight simulation community, because of them being able to have a much increased income and being able to put that money back into the flight simulator, right, and make it better and better with time, right? So I think that's where X-Plane is falling behind, is in the money situation, right? I think that's why you see a simulator like X-Plane that doesn't have satellite imaging and photogrammetry and ortho that's streamed on there, because guess what? That stuff costs money, and Microsoft has got the money. I don't think X-Plane does, to be quite honest with you. So I think that's why X-Plane is falling behind. And as much as I don't want to see happening, I think I think X-Plane slowly but surely will be coming to an end. You know, just like FSX back in the days came to an end, right? And X-Plane 11 kind of took the stage. I think it's going to be vice versa now here in the not so distant future. If Laminar Research and Mr. whatever his name is, Mr. Austin, don't figure the stuff out, they're going to fall so far behind that it's going to be very, very hard for them to catch up to Microsoft and their wallet, if you know what I mean. But I've been blubbering around so much that I forgot what the original question was about. Um, what was it referring to? Did I answer your question?
Yeah, gamer simulator. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the gamer and the flight sim. So yeah, again, with the introduction of the Xbox and all the good stuff, now we are in a place where old people like me would say, "Oh, it's a flight simulator. You know, it's not a game." Right, but and that's initially what I was like, right? Initially, when I first picked it back up and I was flight simming, and I noticed all this stuff, right? I noticed all this people on YouTube, you know, messing around with a little Xbox controller and landing a 747 on a helipad up on the skyscraper in Dubai, right? It's like, what the hell are these people doing? Like, this is a flight simulator. It's what are they doing, right? This is garbage, all right? That I was stubborn, right? I'm like, oh, it's flight simulator. Now it's like, I don't care, dude. It doesn't matter. You know, I'll do what I do. You do what you do, right? The only thing that I'm gonna say is, if you are the type of person that flies Microsoft Flight Sim or X-Plane or any simulator with a controller, and you land your plane on a helipad or a 2,000-foot runway with a 747, or try to catch the number 3 wire on a flight deck carrier with an Airbus 380, then you have no business to be in my Discord and or my channel. So I can do without your click and without your subscription. You can go subscribe to. There's so many streamers that do all that stuff that I consider. I'm gonna say, because I got no filter, man. I consider garbage. It's garbage, right? You want to go see that garbage? You go watch other. And I'm not saying these are bad people, because a lot of people like to take this shit and spin it around, right? Oh, CST Gaming talked bad about this streamer, or CST Gaming said this streamer sucks. No. Time out. Their content sucks. They might be the best person ever. I've never met them as a person, but I can tell you that their content is the things that I don't care about. You know, the Swiss 01, he's probably a wonderful person. His content sucks, right? Captain Will, he's probably a great person. His content does not attract me, right? So don't spin the shit around and go tell people that Mr. CST Gaming said Captain Will is a bad streamer. No, I didn't say that. I said his content is not my forte, okay? But if you like it, go watch his. I will not be showcasing how to land a plane on an aircraft carrier with my PS4 controller. That's not me. If that's what you like, go watch that guy, right? That's all I'm saying. That's the difference between, in my opinion, that's a difference between a gamer and a flight simmer, right? When you come into my streams and you're like, hey, CST, why don't you do a barrel roll in your A321? That's not what I do, man. Go watch Captain Will. He does that shit all day long, right? That's not me. So that's all I'm saying, dude. There's a distinct difference between a gamer and a flight simmer. If you want to see gaming, then when it comes in flight sim, then you definitely come to the wrong channel as far as my channel is concerned. And I'll tell you, right? And this is probably partially the reason why, you know, I don't have 60,000 subscribers. I only have 3,000 and something. I forget exactly what the number is, because I've gotten to the point where I really don't pay attention to it, to be quite honest with you, because I do it because it's fun, right? I do it because I love the interaction with chat. I would love to, in the future, build a good community of people that are like-minded, and share the same passion, right? Not doing barrel rolls and landing planes on helipads and shit like that. So that's what I'm about.
Yeah, very well said. And, you know, one of the things I've been seeing so many great comments in the chat here. Anon says it's a flight simulation hobby, loves checklist. I like that a lot, too. It is a hobby for me. I'm not a real pilot. I never will be a real pilot, because I'm just too old to do it at this point. And so it for me is a serious pursuit, and is a flight simulation hobby. I don't think of it as a game. I am not a video gamer. I don't give two flips and a flop about playing video games. You know, my kids, all the way up to the oldest, are into video games. And you know, that's great. That's their stuff, but this is my stuff. This is all this computer does, is flight simulation. That's it. That's what it was built for. That's what it was designed for. And, you know, that's my take on the whole thing. Anon Flight Simmer's had some great comments. Kills My Skills is in the house here now. And Isaac is here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see. Mike and Al's had to go. They were getting ready. Mike was getting ready for work, and Al's has a stream coming up in about another 43 minutes. So be sure to check out OwlZzFS, of course, and his live stream tonight. Mello, I guess we'll start wrapping up here. Mello and Lotto, want to thank you.
I definitely wanted to add one small thing that what Mello just had too, because it was so everybody in that. Starts to stream. Everybody wants to be a streamer, right? Or they want to do some type of content creator. That's what, like, if you ask any little kid now, what do you want to do when you grow up? Oh, I want to do YouTube, right? And that it's become the mentality of, like, when back in the day when we all used to say, I want to be a professional baseball player, when we know that 0.6% or 0.006% of the population become pro Major League Baseball players that are playing on the 30 teams in the MLB, right? So, like, it's a very hard thing to just be like, yeah, this is what I want to do. Sure, you can work on it, but because they see somebody else that flies with a controller or maybe lands on a short runway, that's what you actually notice. Everybody does the same thing where they just all land at the same airports, or landing a Concorde on the aircraft carrier or 747 is because it got views for one person. And they're like, how am I going to imitate that with where I can get views as well, right? And get notoriety. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing that I can say that I never did as on my own type of stuff, right? My growth has come because of just showcasing airplanes and the beauty of airplanes, not showcasing how stupid can I be with the airplane. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I think a lot of people are like, they think, oh, if I just showcase this, they become their own negativity, where it's like, oh, no, I'm never going to get views with that, right? And I'm like, no, I'm going to keep pushing until I get the views. If I don't get it, it doesn't matter, because I realized one thing. I loved it. I realized it was amazing, right? So that's one big thing that a lot of these, the younger generation, right, I want to say, they come in and they just want to copy and imitate everybody else instead of just doing it for the passion, like Mello, right? He wants to build a community. I'm in that same boat now. I don't care if you follow me or if you if you come and comment on my stuff, as long as you are coming in and you're enjoying what I do, and I build a community from it. So even if that's 10 people out of the 360,000, that's great, right? Because that means, I've met 10 people that care about the same things I care about.
Yeah, and it's the same for me. I'm in it here for the people. Getting to meet you guys has just been an absolute joy and blessing to old man in my life here. I really appreciate
get a
it.
new airplane, right? I just got the Embraer, and I jumped on the Discord with Mello, and this guy was like, not even like 30 minutes just sitting there. Okay, do this. This is what you got to do next. Like, that's what I never had that before. I talk to my wife about it all the time. Hey, I don't care. My friends don't care about it. So it's so great to meet the people that I've met, you know what I'm saying, and through Discord, and be able to fly with them. Isaac is in the chat. He's helped me out so much, with all the flying and all that stuff. Mello, Mike as well, you know what I'm saying? So I'm very grateful for that.
Absolutely. And, you guys showing up in chat, great comments, great suggestions and questions. And, I just started doing this for fun. And then I realized what a great community is here, and meeting up with Mello and Mike and Al's has just been an absolute joy. My wife even says, you've got a quicker little step in your smile there, which is since you've been hanging around with these guys. Anon says, using the charts, flying as realistically as possible, going all over the world is epic, but the best thing is flying with the boys and trying all the cool approaches together. And that's something I hope to have more time too, because Lotto, I'm a little bit like you. My time's somewhat limited. I work as a radio station engineer, and I'm going to be traveling all this next week, so I'll miss my Wednesday night stream, but I'll try to watch you guys as I can here. And I want to ask you guys to help us wrap up here. Mello, tell us what you got coming up this week, what some of your plans are. We didn't get really to touch on your bush flying yesterday, but guys, you got to go back and rewatch CST Gaming's stream from yesterday. He did some bush flying in a King Air and had some other guys with him. And, man, it was just absolutely incredible. I really look forward to you doing more of those kind of things. So tell us what you got coming up this week, Mello.
Well, for the most part, this week we're probably gonna do some more commercial ops, our usual, right? I haven't decided exactly if I want to get back into Phoenix or the PMDG. We'll see. I might even do something totally different. Just keep the PMDG and the Phoenix in the hangar because um, you know how it is, man. When you eat too much chocolate, you get nauseated. So I kind of wanna take a break. But the Bush stuff, the VFR stuff that I did yesterday, that's something that it's been in the works for a long time, right? Talking to Annan, one of my mods on chat right now, it's I would like to do that at least once a week to where I do not we don't go on VATSIM. We'll just go on the multiplayer network on Microsoft and we'll just go from one little strip to another, man. And it's so much fun. We've done it once before. We did a whole ordeal in Sicily, my home country in Italy, and we literally flew from Punta Raisi, which is Palermo, all the way around the Highland and went back up to Punta Raisi. So it was such a fun event. Everybody was flying a GA aircraft of their choice, right? It doesn't have to be nothing special. I think the Kodiak is one of my go-to. I love the Kodiak. But we might bring out the A2A aircraft. I forget what it's called, but we might bring that out soon. And we're gonna do some more stuff. I think we're gonna do some VFR stuff up in Idaho soon. So if you guys like that type of stuff and you want to join, I'm gonna try to do that type of content and bringing everybody in the community in. Whether they, some people don't do VATSIM, right? But they still like to fly along. And I think being able to do that for the community is also great, and bring everybody in. We'll get on Discord and we can chit chat while we're flying and just have a blast, man. It was great. I was hoping for a lot more people to show up yesterday, but unfortunately, it was kind of last minute. I didn't really advertise it as much as I should have. I just decided like the night before. I said, you know what? Tomorrow I'm gonna do VFR because I was really craving some VFR stuff, and we showcase Orbex Pack 1 and 2 of the Papua New Guinea and the Kodiak, man. And Papua New Guinea, man, if you like VFR and you like a challenge, pick up those two packs, man. Pack 1 and Pack 2 Papua New Guinea from Orbex. They are just amazing, man. And you can go from one airport to the other. I think there's like 10 or 11 strips that you can go to and from, and that's literally what I did. I started from one and we ended up at the other, man, and it was a freaking blast. It was only two of us flying for the most part. Owls was trying to get in, but he was having issues, and some other people just couldn't make it. But like I said, man, I think that's something that I want to try and do every Saturday from now on. So if you'd like to join, if you're in chat, or even you guys, Lado or Jack or anybody else, man.
Absolutely, yeah.
And you want to get into a group, man, it'll be like how amazing. I think last time when we did Sicily, we had like 10, 15 people on GA airplanes flying all over Sicily. It was freaking awesome, dude. So being able to bring that back and maybe do it once a week. And I know that Annan put together a nice little route that we can do in England, for example, because people like him, he lives in England, so he's like, hey, we can start from here and we can go all the way, to there and hit all these fields in between. So he put together a nice little route with free scenery from flightsim.to. And I think that's something that we might even do that next, or maybe next we'll do the Idaho thing, and then that following week we'll do the England. I definitely want to do the England thing. So stay tuned if that's something that you like to do, man, and come join us, man. Let's have some fun with that, because at the end of the day, that's one of the things I always say. It's like if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. Number one, and quality over quantity any day of the week.
Yeah. Absolutely. Mello, thank you so much. You are just an absolute professional, and really enjoy watching all your stuff and spending the time with you, brother. Hope you have a great week, and I'll try to watch some of your stuff while I'm in the hotel room coming up here in the next week after work. We'll look forward to everything you have going on. Don't forget to check out Mello's page here in YouTube, CST Gaming. Look that up, and we'll look forward to the next time that we get to do this. And On Flight Simmer says it's all in the CST Gaming Discord for anybody who's interested there. Lotto, why don't you wrap it up, and I'll take us out here. And thanks, everybody, for watching. But, Lotto, what you got coming up, and let us know about.
Well, first of all, I greatly appreciate you guys having me. I know I don't really stream and nobody watches me live. A lot of the people that are in the chat, they know of me just from, Discord, and of course, following me and helping me out with follows over on the Instagram side. But that's about it for me, right? The plan is to see if I can get to 400,000 in the next month or two. And then after that, I'm looking for 2025 to be at over 1 million followers. You know what I'm saying? And that's,
Wow.
I think in life, when we put something in front of us, we just try to go for it. And a lot of people, they make the biggest mistake in life by always, never shooting too high, right? For me, I'll shoot for the sun. If I can't reach it, at least if I can make it to the moon, great. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm very big focused on. And I'll be gone. I'll be flying the 789 Turkish Airlines here and on coming this Friday. So I'll be gone for about 2 weeks. I'm hoping this week I just have to see if I can just get a whole bunch of little small little 20-30 second clips to be able to move forward. But yeah, that's basically it for me. Just Fly with Lotto on Instagram. If you haven't checked it out, would greatly appreciate the support there. TikTok as well. That's another thing that I'm going to start really focusing on, is putting my mind into like, hey, how do I just create nonstop content for there as well, to be able to see if I can get to that 100,000 mark, which I know I can possibly get if I just put my mind into it.
Well, Lotto, be sure to give us a plug on that Instagram thing there,
I already did. I sent a story.
I was just kidding,
out.
but yeah.
I already did a story, and it's got about 1,000 views. So in the next 24 hours, it'll probably be anywhere from like 30 to 50,000 views, right? So we'll see where we are at the end of this. I mean, you got to remember that the hardest thing to do is to move somebody that just wants something on Instagram and take them into another platform, right?
Absolutely,
and then of course, Instagram, that's not what Instagram wants, right? That's not what YouTube wants. YouTube doesn't want you to check this out and then you promote another platform. They're not going to push it. But yeah, definitely. I definitely try to push these guys. These guys know, like a lot of the guys that are Yoham, everybody, I literally made some of my video titles called Yoham or MickityyyMike or Owls, like these have been like the titles, and supporting them as much as I can on my end. With my small things that I do as well. You know what I'm saying?
You bet. Well, I want to get some information from you so I can put it up on some stuff. And guys, once again, thank you. Great to see you. Happy Sunday. Have a great week. And on behalf of Lotto and CST Gaming and myself and MickityyyMike and Owls, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up this edition of our Flight Sim, flying flight simulator. Get my tongue untangled. I'm a professional pronunciator. Don't try this at home. I have to put this thing in a stent or a splint or something. But anyway, we will see you on the next one. Watch for announcements. Watch for announcements primarily on my channel for the discussion group, but we'll have it going up in some other areas as well. So in the meantime, once again, on behalf of all these great guys and Flight Simulator, we'll see you next time, and happy flying, everybody. And we'll hit this.
Yeah, I think we're good now.